Hey everybody, welcome to LEDA Day 8. Welcome to Consult the Blind Guy. I am Andrew, and today we're covering the next mission for LEDA. And if you're new here, LEDA is a challenge that is hosted by the Live Streaming Pros channel, and it is a private group on Facebook for the members to do the challenge. I actually screwed up when we heard about this challenge, and I announced here that I would be going live every day, and because I am a man of my word, I will be here every day this month. I am going to complete the challenge here as well as on the Facebook private group. So, today's mission. Are you ready for this one? I'm actually winging it. The only thing I have for a note today is what the mission is. I am not using any other notes outside of what I was given for my task today. So this ought to be an interesting experience because I'm just literally winging it. I have not practiced this. I have not really even thought about what way I want to do this. So you're in for an experience today. Alrighty. So today's mission is talking about your achievements is not vain. And as you know, this past week, I have made the statement many times that I have felt vain and that I could not qualify to be able to give you the value that I believe that you want. And now, thankfully, a lot of you have actually reached out and told me that I do provide good value. So thank you very much for that, because it means a lot to me to know that I am giving you information and experiences firsthand that can help you, that may be able to help our community or somebody that you may even know. For me to open up as much as I have this past week is a big feat just for me. I have always been one to keep things held in, especially out of fear of what your opinion of me or my thoughts might be. And as you may know from yesterday's stream, if you were here, if not, you might want to check that episode out. Just a forewarning, if you get easily offended, you might not want to. I am sorry, but I have a lot of information in there in personal experiences that I share that I feel could actually benefit a lot of different people. So if you get offended, I am sorry. That is not my intention with that stream or with any of the information I relay. That is not the purpose of my channel, is to attack people or your opinions or your views or your thoughts or anything like that. I was just merely sharing my own perspective, and I hope that we can agree to disagree if you do not agree with my statements. So, today's mission, to be more specific, other than that first sentence, your mission is to tell your story in a way that shares your achievements while helping your audience see them in your story, which means today's mission is for me to tell a story about my life or my achievements in life that you can actually relate to and go, damn, that's just like me. Or, oh, hey, I relate to that. Hey, I know how you feel. Things along those lines. Now, I know yesterday I did go through some of them stories, and I did get that feedback that you understand and you do relate and things like that. But these past few days, I've done everything with bulletin notes and plainly reading straight off of my entire novel, practically, of notes, just so I wouldn't stray off. So today, other than this sentence, or well, two sentences that I've actually read to you now, outside of that, I am not using any notes. In fact, now that I am done reading that, I am closing it. Now I can see you here in the chat. I might not be able to read it this far away, but I do have my trusty cell phone right here to be able to keep an eye on it, to be able to read and chat with you while we go through this episode. First, if you are here with me live, Thank you. I appreciate you. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can stay updated on the latest videos, live streams, and more. There are going to be some updates over the next few weeks. I am trying to work very hard on extra content that is not already pre scheduled, and I am also working on other minor improvements as well as talking to some of the community members about being guests here on the live stream with me this month. And if yes, you watching right now, if you are a content creator, whether you're on Twitter, Twitch, anything like that, please feel free to hit me up. I would be more than happy to have you on the channel so we can discuss the content that you create. And if you are a YouTuber specifically, whether you're disabled, visually impaired, blind, not disabled at all, that's fine too. There is no requirement for you to be disabled or impaired in any way to be on my channel. I do have a series called Why Do You YouTube? And the whole purpose is to allow other content creators to come on here and share your information one on one with me to the audience to help you spread your message or your story and grow your channel. So, thank you for coming, and I appreciate you. If you're not here with us live and you're watching this for a replay, please leave a comment down below. Hashtag Team Replay. It will let me know that this is actually getting out there and not just sitting here collecting dust, more or less, and getting stagnant. And if you think that my streams are too long, please, by all means, let me know. I will do my best to cut them down a little bit so you can have your free time and I'm not taking up all your time during the day. I am actually in the process of repurposing some of the content that has been extremely long over the past few weeks. So please bear with me. Those episodes will be coming to you shortly as well. So, as I said, today's mission for LEDA is to tell you a story in which I can either tell you about my life history or my journey through life, or maybe just some of the achievements I've had to where you can actually relate and know what those experiences or achievements have been like because you yourself have done them or felt them or etc. First, let's see who we have with us today. Let's see. We have Sean M. Hey, brother, thank you for coming and watching the live stream. Greatly appreciated. Just Samson. Hey, brother, thank you as well for coming to the show today. It's greatly appreciated. I hope that the content today is good for you, and I hope there is value in it for you. As I said, I am not going to read any kind of notes. I am winging this today. So, because I have actually two kinds of an audience here that this channel focuses on, I think I'm going to actually do two stories today. One focused on those who are visually impaired or disabled, as well as one that is geared more towards you, the sighted community, who are kind of curious about what it's like to be blind or visually impaired. So, for you that are sighted, you might actually find this story a little bit interesting and comical. How many of you, if you're here live, I would love if you could give me an emoji or say something if this actually does relate to you, if you've had these experiences. I would love to hear your responses. If you're sighted, as I said, You may not understand these situations, but I do have some that may actually relate to you as well. If you're in the blind or visually impaired community, in most cases, your vision is low enough that you do not have the ability to possibly see some cabinet doors that are open and you might be able to walk into them. Or maybe you've had an experience where you've gone out to a restaurant or a family function at like a VFW hall that you might understand where I'm going with this next little bit. Last year, my cousin and I went to a casino. Now, you're probably wondering, well, why in the hell does this matter? Well, my cousin and I are both legally blind from X-linked retinitis pigmentosa. XLRP, as most people refer to it, because, X-linked retinitis pigmentosa is kind of a mouthful. We both have XLRP. My cousin is 14 years older than me. We went out for his birthday to the casino. One of our other cousins is actually the one that brought us because neither of us blind guys can drive, obviously. um, but we went to the casino. When we first got to the casino, everything was fine until we stepped away from the counter for getting our player cards. The instant that we walked away from them player cards, we had a major, major issue with our vision being able to travel around a casino, even with our white canes. Unfortunately, casinos can actually be pretty dark, but at the same time, they're very bright. How many of you in the chat that are here live today have been to a casino or a event of some sort, whether it's a concert or, like I said, a family function at a VFW or a hall of some sort, and walked in and you feel like you can see good right off the bat, everything's fairly well lit for you to be able to maneuver. And then when you get to the next stage of the doors opening, everything gets like super dark. Like you feel like you just put sunglasses on. For you, those that are sighted, this may not be as relative to you, but do you know the feeling of being inside of a grocery store, for instance, and then walking out into a super bright sunny day and that pain or pressure you get in your eyes? That's what we deal with in the visual impaired community. Well, not all of us have this issue, but there is a great ordeal of us who do. When we go into these transitions, it's not that easy. Whether we have no sight at all or whether we're up to a fairly good light perception, able to see a good couple feet in front of us, tunnel vision, stuff like that. When we go through these doors to get into functions like concerts, casinos, grocery stores, VFW halls, whatever the situation may be, when we go from outside super bright to inside of a building that might actually be bright like it is right now with the light over my head, when we transition from spot to spot like this, our pupils actually close down even more because they have to readjust to the lighting. Outside, it's super bright. That hurts our eyes. Then when we go into these buildings, our eyes close even more because it's a completely different type of light. And the two of them, the UAV, the UV levels or types of levels can actually harm our eyes between the sun as well as fluorescent light. When you walk into these buildings, that fluorescent light is a completely different hue. When you hit those hues in your eyes, it can create a very, very bad issue of either being too bright and causing you a headache or pressure in your eyes, in which case now you're going to have to allow yourself to adjust, or you're just going to have to power through it and hope you don't walk into somebody or something. Now, in some cases, those that are fully blind don't actually have to worry about that part so much, other than the fact of maybe walking into somebody else because, well, they can't see them, and people don't pay attention so much for us all the time. So we have to be extra diligent when we are using our canes to be able to go into places. And this whole story here about going into the casino, well, it was a good day for us to be out and about, but it was a bad day for a blind guy or blind guys to be in a casino. Why? As I said, when we walked in, everything was well lit. Once we walked away from that counter, though, everything was dark. The only thing that was light was all the wonderful lights on the slot machines and other types of gambling devices that have the wonderful flashes and extra large freaking fluorescent lights that are pointed directly out in the walkway. As visually impaired people, it is not easy to have dark here and light here because we have a tendency to get distracted by bright light. That's the first thing that our eyes automatically switch to when we go from darkness to lightness, or even with a combination of the light and the dark. You could go into the dark the instant you see that flash or the light, your eyes automatically go boop over there. That's not cool. Why? Because if our eyes shift from where we are trying to focus on where we are walking, you have a situation like my cousin and I. I'm curious if any of you here watching live have actually had this experience. Have you ever gone somewhere and walked around using your cane, and your cane actually missed a person and walked right into their back? If you haven't, you are one lucky person. Why do I say this? This past year, if you didn't hear my story the other day, when we went to this casino, me and my cousin walked around for a great deal of time figuring out where things were in the casino, where the bathroom was. And at one point, we were walking. My cousin was about 2, 3 paces ahead of me on my left hand side, and we both use canes. So we were doing our best to swing our canes in a synchronized system to where we would be able to hopefully cover each side of us between him and I to ensure we wouldn't hit anybody, but that did not work. My cousin actually hit his right shoulder on a gentleman who was standing in the middle of a walkway with 2 ladies. When he hit and shoulder checked that gentleman, I heard the impact in the grunt and from the women that were with him. He had that instant tone of anger. I, being that couple paces behind, hearing the response from the gentleman who was just shoulder checked, did my best to move off to the side a little bit further. When I went to do this, there was actually a Wheel of Fortune kind of machine sitting off to the side, all of the lights for the wheel and fluorescent lights over top of it, and all that wonderful hoopla. Well, unfortunately, as I said a second ago, I got distracted because bright light, squirrel! I went off track. My eyes focused off to the right, even though I was trying to stay focused forward. Unfortunately, I was not able to keep my focus good enough to avoid the gentleman my cousin had just walked into. My cousin walked into that gentleman and it spun him. When I walked into the gentleman, I literally slammed right into his back, full force, full speed walking, and spun him a full 360 degrees because I hit him so hard. I thought that man was going to kill us because we both hit him. Thankfully, he didn't. In fact, he actually apologized for us walking into him. Now, I don't know if this is because he felt guilty for standing in the walkway. I don't know if this is because he just felt bad or felt like he needed to apologize because he noticed that we had canes. I'm not sure what the situation for him to apologize specifically was. Maybe it could have been because the girls could have seen us coming and didn't say anything. Him saying it was actually kind of cool because usually when we in the blind or visually impaired community walk into something or into someone specifically, we are not given that um, courtesy of apologizing. Usually, most people will go on the attack, and the first thing is, damn, you blind people, or what are you, fucking blind? And yes, we are. That's the whole purpose of a white cane. And if you don't know that, well, here's your education. A white cane is to identify that we're visually impaired. Now, some people believe the white cane is specifically just for blind people, and that's not the case. Those that are using a white cane or even wearing the super dark sunglasses doesn't necessarily mean they're 100% lights out, can't see anything, blind. In some cases, like mine, I actually do have the super dark sunglasses. I have an extreme sensitivity to light. I don't know if you can tell it by watching me. I am actually struggling to look at the camera and the computer because I'm trying to keep my eyes to where my overhead light right now is not killing my eyes. Occasionally, you will see that I actually have more light on me because I have a ring light I will occasionally position for better light depending on how I'm actually sitting. And I will have to adjust again because if that light is in my eyes, it is killing me. Literally, I get massive migraine headaches because of lightness. I prefer to honestly, sorry to do this to you because the camera quality is going to suck a minute, but if it were up to me, this is how I prefer to spend my day. Now I can actually see the computer screen more clearly. Less stress on my eyes, less strain. Granted, I cannot read it or see what you're saying in the chat, but this to me is a lot easier to work with than this. This hurts. It's an annoyance. And unfortunately, because of my eye disease, I can't have it the way I want it. I have to endure this every single day because if I don't have the light, I can't do anything on the computer because I can't see to work on it. I can't see the keyboard. Well, on this computer, the new one, I can. Thankfully, it has backlit keys. My old computer, on the other hand, did not have backlit keys. So I could not do a freaking thing because I could not see what I was typing, what fingers I had on what buttons. And if I have that light off, I will bump into every single thing that might be on the floor or out in my walkway. If there's anything hanging down, it will definitely smack me right in the face. I've actually broken the little ceramic hangers for the ceiling fan because I did not see it. It smacked me right here in my forehead because I walked into it. I hit it so hard walking, it actually spun up to the top of the freaking ceiling fan and hit the chandelier like cover or light cover, and it broke it into about 12 pieces. I then ended up stepping on them shards of that ceramic. So I either have to have the brightness so I can see where I'm moving and what I'm doing, or I'm going to stumble, trip, and smack into everything in my way or even around me. I do have a tendency to, like, I moved my hand over for the light switch. Occasionally, I will hit the microphone because I cannot see where my microphone is. What you're seeing right now is perfect for you, right? I'm going to try and give you an experience, if I can, of what it is like to see through my eyes a little bit. Let's see, what do I have that I can use to best demonstrate this. Oh, I wish I actually had something a little bit better, but this is gonna have to do. Okay, I'm sorry if you can't hear me that well or see me, but I am trying to give you a little bit of a perspective of what it's like to look through my eyes. Now, you see that extra film because of the water bottle? That there gives you a little bit of perspective of what it's like to have my cataracts, that like milky white looking crap going on there for the view. That's how my cataracts are, okay? It's all milky, so I can't see a lot of the stuff. Like this screen right now, half of it is like gray. My microphone over here, I'm trying not to put my arm out too far so I don't like blow out your ears hitting it. But that milky white grayish that you're seeing, that's what my cataracts are like. That blocks a lot of my vision. On top of that, I actually have extreme tunnel vision in both of my eyes. I only have 1% of vision in this eye and 10% vision in this eye. And what I mean by that is I literally look through like a straw. This side is a little bit bigger of a straw than this one, but it's the same concept. I only have central vision. On top of the central vision issue and the cataracts, I also have what is known as nystagmus. And nystagmus is a twitching of your eye, uncontrollable. There's also photophobia. Photophobia is an extreme sensitivity to light as well as flashing in your eyes. The best way I can explain this for those of you who are in the sighted community, the photophobia is, you know, that wonderful feeling you get when you're with your family and you're doing like a family reunion, or maybe best example would be you go to a photo booth when you're in school. You remember how they always have that wonderful set of lights always pointed at you? It's supposed to make you look good, right? And then you got the dude with the camera or the woman with the camera, whomever the photographer is. They've got the camera with that wonderful flash bulb, right? What happens to you when you get that flash bulb? Do you see colored rings and stuff flashing in your eyes because you just had that kapoof out of nowhere? That is photophobia. That is something I deal with on a regular basis. Right now, I've got red and blue and green and purple and white in it. It's like a kaleidoscope that's continuously moving across my eyes. Then you have the cataracts. Then you have the tunnel vision. And then you have this wonderful freaking thing of twitching. Now, it doesn't do it 100% throughout the entire day, but still, I'm sure you can occasionally see, especially with my glasses off, that my right eye will occasionally go poop, poop before it goes back to normal when I blink. Sometimes it will continuously twitch. Not always. Some days are good, some days are bad. Now, if you understand what I'm talking about when it comes to the camera flash, it's a pain in the butt. Let me tell you what, because that camera flash trips me in more than one way with my eyesight. As I said, I have an extreme sensitivity to light. So when that flash happens, whether it's intentional from a photographer or whether it's not intentional, the instant that light goes into my eyes, the flashing in my eyes increases tenfold. When that increases tenfold, that screws with the cataracts even more to block out more of my vision. I also have glaucoma, which really plays a lot of into the pressure in my eyes as well. Now, if you know what that stuff's like, I feel for you because you're not alone. I deal with it every single day, and I know it is a struggle. I hear you. If you need to talk about stuff like this, you can always hit me up as well. You can leave a comment down below and let me know you'd like to chat, and we can get in contact with each other. Or if you would like, you can go and find me on Facebook or any of the other social media platforms. And I'll be more than happy to listen to you vent about having this issue because I am totally with you 100%. Now, for you in the sighted community, I have a story that doesn't really matter in the aspect of being focused on me, but I do have something that I'm sure that you can relate to in this sense. You, as a sighted person, sorry for moving around so much. I'm trying to stay comfortable with sitting here like this. And like I said, I've got that light above me, so I'm trying to stay focused on the camera and the computer at the same time. So I'm not sitting here going like this. I know I could probably put my hat on, but I feel like it would be a little bit more disrespectful if I put my hat on and I have dark face. I know I shouldn't care, but I would prefer you to be able to see me fully than underneath a shadow. But in this case, I'm sure that you can all relate to this one instance. As I said a minute ago, I'm sure you know what it's like to go from inside to outside and have to make your eyes adjust that little bit, right? How about this one? Have you ever been outside or driving and you get that wonderful freaking sunlight and it goes down, hits a piece of glass or a mirror, and it shines you right back in your eyes? That there will practically send me over the moon. I have to literally instantly close my eyes and hope. that either if I'm using my cane that I don't walk into anybody, or if I'm not using my cane, that I can manage to use echolocation. And if you're unsure of what echolocation is, it's more or less being like a bat or a dolphin. Sonar. We use our ears to listen to things in our area. The vibrations from them items can actually come back just like a dolphin or a bat and trigger in my ear so I know my distance. Thankfully. But I'm sure at some point you've either been walking or driving and had that glare come back and shoot you right in the eyes. And the first thought you probably have is, fuck! Right? Because that's the first thought that goes through my mind is, fuck! That hurt. That really, really, really hurt. It's like taking a needle and sticking it right into my eye. I'm sure it's not necessarily that intense for you, but I'm sure it does annoy the living hell out of you, don't it? Welcome to our side of the visual impairment community. Because whether you're sighted or not, that is going to be something that is a big issue for everybody unless you have sunglasses on or some way to block that bright light. I'm sure you can all relate to that one, am I right? Let me know in the chat if you're here with me live. If you're not here with me live and you are part of the team replay, please comment below with hashtag team replay. Let us know. Have you had this experience, whether you're sighted or whether you're visually impaired? Have you had that experience of getting shined in the eyes from a reflection of the sun and had it really throw you off or made you so annoyed that you had to close your eyes and turn away or something to that effect because your eyes were irritated? All right. I want to see who's here in the chat because I can actually see that it is moving here. Hey, just Samson. Thank you, brother, for showing up. Greatly appreciated. What's Samson say here? Maybe side fill your light from left and light from left to right. Also, could film with a high ISO camera. You can film in almost darkness and it will look lit on camera. Yeah, the app I actually have on the phone that I'm using right now, Samson, does have an ISO control, but I'm not 100% sure how to adjust it yet. I'm still figuring everything out. Um, I've actually only used this app the past week in like the first two live streams before that. Otherwise, everything was always done on the old computer, which actually had a built-in webcam. Oh yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, brother, I'm actually my microphone is a podcasting microphone, and it's one of them wonderful like desk clamp on ones, so it's only got so much movement. I was trying to get it set up to where it would hopefully be out of view, but unfortunately I don't have the area to do it just yet. But I am actually working on figuring out a way to set it so it's a little bit easier and a little bit more cleaner on screen. Um, I am, as I asked yesterday, I am actually working on how I'm going to change up the room just a little bit so I can have more of a background instead of just sitting against the wall. This way, pardon, sorry, coffee's kicking in for the little bubblies in the stomach. I have and today is the second day on 2 hours of sleep, so I have been drinking coffee like there's no tomorrow. Not that the caffeine really has any effect on me, but drinking the hot coffee is helping me to keep myself awake because, well, coffee's good for you, man. It'll almost fix anything. Getting back on the road. All right, brother. I hope you have a safe trip and you're having a good day. Don't overdo it there moving with your back after all that there 90 pounds and in how many miles you've walked today. I don't know if I'd be able to do it. Well, maybe I could if I was still in the shape I was a few years ago, but right now I would probably die, Samson. 90 pounds on my back and going for a walk would practically kill me. I went for that walk the other night and I wasn't even gone 15 minutes. And when I got home, I could tell I went for a walk. Um, I woke up yesterday after 2 hours of sleeping with a major leg and foot cramp, so I know I'm out of shape. And in fact, I'm thinking about making a series as well. I would love your input here in the community if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay. I would love your thoughts. Please let me know if you would be interested in a health playlist, whether it's a list of videos explaining how to do certain exercises, or maybe me demonstrating the exercises as well as participating with you in live exercises here. I know I have had a couple people previously make comments that they would like to do exercises to get fit, but they are unsure of the best way to do it because of visual impairment. So I would definitely love your input. Do you want information on how you can do varying different exercises while you're visually impaired? Because if you do, I can do just like I do my regular simple tech tutorials, and I can break down things to where it's understandable for you to be able to follow along. All right. I'm not seeing any new comments just yet. I know there is a slight little delay between YouTube on the laptop and on the phone. So we'll see how that goes here in just a second. But I would definitely love your input. I have many ideas on different future series that I will be considering making, but I would definitely love your input here in the community because I don't want to put it out there if that's not something you're interested in seeing. Now, I'm curious if either of these stories that I have mentioned you can relate to. Whether walking into the dark area and having the light, or being sighted even and going and having that light shine into your eyes like that. Can you relate to that? I would love to know, because as I said, today's whole thing for the live is being able to tell a story or an achievement from us that is relatable to our audience. And as I said, this channel is actually geared towards two audiences. I know a lot of our influencers here on YouTube will say, no, don't focus on two audiences. But this is done for a specific reason for me. The whole purpose of Consult the Blind Guy is to not only share my experience so that the visually impaired community know you're not alone, you have somebody that can help in some situations with tutorials and things like that. But the other purpose of this channel is to help you, the sighted community, to have an inside look at some of the struggles that we deal with in the visual impaired community, as well as give you other insights from our perspective. We also have a section within my playlist for you to ask all the questions you would love to ask anybody that is visually impaired, whether they are fully blind or just visually impaired in general, legally blind, whatever. Because I do actually have a fairly good community who are open to sharing their experience to help answer your questions about what we struggle and deal with on a daily basis. And we would love to hear anything. And don't worry about your questions being stupid or anything like that, because if you know anything, you would have seen the playlist that I started out with when I first started this channel about common and crazy questions people ask the blind. Yeah, sometimes we get a little annoyed when we hear these questions because it seems so repetitive, but it's not that we're angry with you, the sighted person, asking these questions. It's just that sometimes we get asked the same thing so many times, it gets very, very, very annoying. And it's not that we're mad at you, we just get tired of answering the same question. That is actually one of the reasons that this channel is here. That way, if you have those questions, you can ask them and find all the answers right here. The blind and visually impaired community that I know is 100% open to answering all of your questions, whether it's specifically about our eye disability or disease, whichever type it may be, whether it's problems that we have, ways that we do things, what annoys us, whatever. You can ask us just about anything you want. I do actually have quite a bit of people on Facebook as well, besides here on YouTube, who would be more than willing to answer these questions for you. So please don't feel afraid. You can comment below, post it in the chat, you can email, whichever way you prefer, we will get your questions answered for you. Now, if you're here with me live, please feel free to drop it into the chat and I will do my best to answer your questions if you have any. All right. I'm not seeing anything come in just yet. I do want to let you also know that starting on Monday, that the time for the stream is actually going to be moved just a little bit. As I had said yesterday, I have kind of overbooked myself because I'm trying to do multiple things. This entire month, I am watching Karma Cash Flow, then watching Pat Flynn. After Pat Flynn, we usually have a Zoom meeting, and for the past week, I have actually skipped out on my Zoom meeting to come here. And it's not that uh I'm trying to avoid the Zoom meeting or anything like that, but I wanted to utilize the hour between Pat and live streaming pros as best as possible. And I thought, maybe go to the Zoom meeting for a few minutes, then pop out, come here, do the live stream, then go to live streaming pros. But I've actually realized that's more difficult than I thought it would be. Um, Pat Flynn usually gets done at 12 o'clock, if not a few minutes after 12. So that's why I have been late the last couple days in starting the stream on time because we ran a couple minutes over. And as I said yesterday, I try to stay there until the absolute end because Pat gives some great, valuable information. And if you haven't checked him out yet, I highly suggest you do. If you're interested in doing anything business related, you need to check out Pat Flynn. Crap, you know what? I just realized I was there today in the stream and I forgot to ask Pat about his courses for you. So, I will be actually hitting him up and asking because I do not remember if they are still available or not. So I apologize for that. Like I said, I'm only going on 2 hours of sleep again today. So it's been a wee bit of a struggle for me to stay focused on everything entirely this morning. That's actually why I did not use notes. Excuse me. That's why I did not use a note today for this challenge because I have just been so scatterbrained and tired. I couldn't think straight on what story or what achievement I could actually tell you to see if you could relate to me. I know most of you that are here, we already relate. But, the purpose of the challenge is to help me gain my self confidence and become the uniquely you on camera without fear of being a mess up or making an ass out of myself or anything like that. And as you can tell, what a difference between day 1 and day 8. And in fact, I am actually going to be doing a compilation video of YouTube and Facebook LEDA. This way, you can actually see the difference between each stream that I have done these past few days. You will notice that I have a tendency here of being one way to begin with, and then the Facebook group, I'm a little bit more calm to begin, but after this entire week, you will notice a drastic difference. So that video will actually be coming out in the next couple days. I am in the process of editing, so look forward to that one because it's definitely a big difference. And if you're interested in doing live streams and you're nervous about doing this kind of thing, don't worry. You can hit me up. I can actually help you walk through this process so you do not have to be nervous. The reason I'm saying this is it took me a week with complete strangers to be able to come this comfortable on camera. That's it. 1 week. One. Just 1 week. And I have no issues of being here, speaking my mind, and letting you know what I have for value and what I actually think about the situation at hand in the world around us or in our own community. All right, nothing in the chat. So, if you would, please let me know what your thoughts are of this stream. I deeply appreciate you that have been here with me live today. Samson and Sean M. I greatly appreciate you, brothers. Thank you for coming and for showing the love and support. I greatly appreciate you. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you can stay updated on the latest videos and more. There is going to be a new video out bright and early Monday morning Eastern Time, around 5 or 6 a.m. Eastern Time. I actually did that for one of the guys that is actually just mentioned a minute ago, brah, just because I would love your input. I hope that all of you are having a wonderful day and enjoying this beautiful weather that we are having these past few days instead of the constant rainstorms that seem like they were here for weeks on end. I know I am. I know I'm a little bit chilly with the freaking air conditioner going all the time, but hey, what do you do? Rather be a little bit chilly than sweating your ass off, right? But don't forget, bright and early Monday morning, there will be a new video on another way for you to make easy money to be able to get off of disability. If you have ideas for other videos that you would like to see here, please feel free to drop them in the comments, hit me up on social media, or send me an email. I have no problems doing extra content specifically for you by request. It's no hassle at all. Please feel free to ask if you would like something done specifically for you, and I will do my best to get it done for you. I do appreciate everyone that has been here and supported me this past week doing this challenge, and I appreciate your continued support. I am actually looking forward to some of the conversations because of this stream situation that I am doing, and I'm curious on your thoughts. What is it that you noticed the biggest difference in between day one and now? Or what you notice entirely throughout this month? What is the biggest thing that you see has changed in my live streams and content compared to the previous 5 months? As I said, I appreciate you all. I can't thank you all enough for your encouragement and support. I am looking forward to the conversation in the comments below. Thank you again for coming and watching me live today, and I am looking forward to seeing you possibly here for a one-on-one interview on Why You YouTube. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow afternoon.